never know what will happen at Worlds.
The stage is set, the curtain is drawn.
没人能够预见会是这种情况。
This is the game people want to see.
新的王者诞生了
Kaboom! They lit the fuse.
你看到了吗
They're gonna win. This is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening day of Worlds 2020. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, as the best teams on the planet have gathered in Shanghai, China, to fight for the prestigious Summoners Cup. And here we see Mad Lions and INTZ entering the arena. Through the eyes of the Oppo cam, it's all about to go down. My goodness. Yes, I am Machine, and it's a complete honor to be given the responsibility of guiding the analyst desk for the play-ins this year. And I know some of you don't know me, and that's okay. This show, thankfully, isn't about me. It is about none other than the game itself. It's about the very best in the globe, competing in the real-time 10-man puzzle of mechanical and cognitive processing. And I'm just here to smile, wave, and help everyone appreciate the art form that is League of Legends. Fortunately, it's not me. I'm not the brains of this brigade. It is our brainiacs here to my left. It is looking pretty swagger, might I say. Dressed up, it is none other than our jungling Brit, Cadril, and my League of Legends father figure. He's had a haircut. It's nice. It's Trevor Quickshot Henry, everybody, and the crowd goes wild.
The age jokes never stop, but look at it this way. Welcome to Worlds, both Alex and Mark, and for the first time, XL.
XL at Worlds.
Oh, you made it. Congratulations.
We made it.
I hate that. That joke just, it's like, yeah, I'm smiling.
It's overused.
It never gets old. Honestly, it never gets old. It's fun for me every time.
Well, we are kicking things off with the play-in stage, where there are some changes to the format from previous years. Now, some of it's a bit complicated, but Trevor, even I can see we've got 2 less teams.
That's right, 22 teams total instead of the 24 due to national travel restrictions related to COVID-19. Our 2 qualifying teams from Vietnam will unfortunately be unable to travel to Shanghai to compete this season. So that means for play-ins groups, they'll be split into 2 groups of 5 teams. Each group plays a single round robin. First place in each group goes directly into the group stage, while the last place is eliminated. Following that, 3rd and 4th place will face off in a best-of-5 series. The winner goes up against the 2nd place from the other group, and that will be the final BO5 series to determine the 2 spots in the group stage. I'm bummed personally because the VCS and the Vietnamese teams have been exceptionally competitive, exceptionally entertaining, and to not have them competing at Worlds, it is sad, but it is, you have to acknowledge the pandemic that's happening, and I'm very fortunate that at least we can still have 22 of the teams. I really like the change to the play-ins groups.
Yeah, and the Vietnamese region kind of is like the kryptonite to Europe. You know, you had the Gigabyte Marines versus Fnatic, you had the Blue Buffalo versus G2, so it's not the end of the world for Europe, but it's quite sad not to have them here.
Yeah, we've lost our nemesis, and it's an absolute shame, but I'm looking forward all the same to seeing how the 22 do. The play-in stage will feature a variety of regions and styles, but it is safe to assume that the Pool 1 seeds are the clear frontrunners. Right, I was doing my homework, brought it up. Pool 1, there's 4 names in that, and they're all looking pretty beefy.
Yeah, definitely the top teams coming out of Pool 1, Mad, Liquid, LGD. You can't not talk about these teams. I mean, Mad, they did so well in the regular split. They came 2nd place, 3rd place in spring as well, and they did drop off a bit in playoffs, like Team Liquid did, who also finished 1st place in their regular season. But these 2 teams definitely look strong. And then China, LGD, you can't not talk about them. The 4th seed from the LPL. They finished 6th in the regular split. They beat IG to get here. They had a 6-1 record against them, and IG did run it down a little bit, you could argue, but LGD is looking really
argue. A little later, I will actually argue that. For now, though, I think, though, like Alex, you did point it out, 3 of the 4 potential teams that we're expecting to advance to the group stage have already been listed. I think a dark horse for me, out of the remaining teams in play-ins groups, has to be Unicorns of Love. They've dropped 2 games all year. Like, let that sink in for a second. 2 games all year in the domestic season.
Not one season, the whole year.
The entire year. So I think they are coming in. I think the LCL as well does have a competitive history on the international stage. So I'm hopeful, and for all of our fans and our viewers at home, they are intimately familiar with the organization of URL.
And just from a competitive standpoint, I think it speaks volumes about their competitive drive and their pursuit of glory in the fact that you are clearly the front runner in your region. Clearly there is no one to push your game to the next level, and still you're pursuing the victories to the point where where you said 39?
Pretty much. And 2. Yeah, 2 games
Jeez
lost.
Louise, okay. But there is another name, and it is one that's pretty short, easy to say, short and sweet, just like Kadriel himself, V3.
Yeah, V3. I mean, I have to agree with Trevor. I mean, UL almost made it to Worlds with Splice. They went 2-3 in the end, but V3, the LJL, has never actually made the Worlds group stage ever. They always fall short in play-ins, but this is one roster I'm looking at when I was watching their games in the final especially. Like, they look so good. Their jungle Boogie, he's playing like 10 games of Lilia, 27% damage dealt from a jungler.
Are you telling
That's
me
illegal.
you think they're making it to groups?
They're going to make it to groups.
You're telling me
LJL? I'm telling you, it's
Alex,
a dark horse.
You may not have heard this before, but Vedius has sung the praises of LJL for years. Do you know how many times he's been right?
I mean...
Not a single time.
Yeah, okay.
This is the time.
You have spent too much time with Vedius, but I would like to see how they
No,
play.
I want to hear you weave this story. So you were saying it starts with Boogie in the jungle. How else do I defeat
You've got Archer in the bot lane.
Okay.
His mechanics and fights are crazy good. And then the solo lanes of Ace and Paz, I think they're really, really exceptional. I think this team
Too much anime.
is my dark horse. I think they
much
might
anime.
make it. I'm pretty confident.
I would love the anime story, though. You know, get that full down, trodden, impossible to overcome odds. There's plenty of that going around here in Worlds. And as always, a big part of it is the meta. The meta will have a huge impact on the tournament. So why don't we start thinking about those trends coming into Worlds? So if anyone's not been doing League, don't worry. I haven't been keeping my finger on the pulse at all times. Now is your chance to get yourself ready and equipped for Worlds that is just around the corner. Kadriel, I'm looking at you, man. You've been in the jungle doing your bits and your bobs.
Yeah, the meta's been shifting a lot recently. The general overview of the meta was tank top, tank jungle, where should I go? You had so many questions going into the meta, but just looking at the graphic itself, the picks in general, I think these are the 4 most common picks you'll see going into Worlds. These are champions which haven't been nerfed. You've got the Shen top, you can have it in jungle as well. We've seen the River Shens. It's so flexible with the carry jungle playstyle. You have the Pantheon support, which is it's looking quite deadly towards the end of the playoffs, especially in the LCK. You've got the Ashe, and then you've got the Renekton in top lane as well, which synergize with the AP junglers. I think those picks are basically the ones I'm looking at as the prio picks. And if you look towards the bot lane, talking about Ashe, Sen has been nerfed, Caitlyn's been a little bit nerfed as well, so they might have fallen off a little bit of prio, so I'm definitely looking at Ashe as the strongest AD carry. And then you look at the jungle as well. Do I play a scaling jungler? Do I play an early jungler? And I think the only real early jungler you're looking at is Set. I think if Set's off the board, you're looking at more carry-orientated sort of scaling junglers, and then that'll match well with the mages mid lane that I think is going to show up the most, other than maybe the Lucian.
Okay, now I'm going to sound like an idiot here, aren't I? But mages and mid lane. Now, back in my day, I was rocking it down mid with my Lux. She is a mage. That was 2015. That was mid. Why is mages mid lane even a meta conversation?
Well, Machine, the game's changed a lot since you've last played. Just to let you know.
Touché. I mean, sure.
And the mage has been playing bot a lot from G2. You've had mages in the jungle. There was even times where you had Syndra, Carzzy in the jungle, stuff like this. And I think mages will be the aim of the game for Worlds here. I mean, Akali did show some prio in the playoffs, but it did get nerfed a little bit. So other than her and LeBlanc, I'm not seeing too many assassins come in. But I think mages is definitely what we're looking at.
And now I'm afraid I'm getting out my giant wooden spoon from my quiver here. And so I was doing my research. I like to go on the social media world. I went to Reddit, and I've had a scroll. And I noticed a word, and I'm talking about leaks. I'm not necessarily talking about spring onions, but I'm talking about the leaks. Now, this is ridiculous. It does seem that the world's scrims have some slip through the net. Am I supposed to be jumping to conclusions? Is it alarm bells for EU?
No, you don't read. No, you don't read scrim results and assume it's going to translate to world success. And if anyone maybe hasn't read it or seen it, they've not gone well for a lot of our European teams and frankly for many Western teams. I've seen records of 0-25 in some cases.
There's whispers.
Right?
There's whispers.
When you look at some of the scoreboards, look, scrims are an indication of teams that are practicing, but the environment is not comparable to the stage. I am not going to think that this is a worrying trend right now. It does give you some indicators, some things to be aware of, but it is not going to dictate a team's performance on the world stage.
So no raised eyebrows yet, Kadriel?
Well, as a player myself, scrims are fake data sometimes. You either lose all your scrims and you come in with nothing to lose, or you win all your scrims and you come in with confidence. So as long as you practice what you're going to play on stage, I think you're in a good spot.
Or you lose everything and you learn what you need to not do on stage. You know, so like, there's so many factors to it, and I think perspective will matter a lot. But no, I don't buy into scrim data being...
One factor, though, I want to make sure I make clear is that I'm also concerned that if you've lost 0-25 and Jankos is on his stream saying some regions are looking weaker than others, you know, their confidence is going to be, your mental fortitude is going to be tested. They haven't even started their games. But talking of games, today is the opening day of Worlds 2020, and the crescendo is Team Liquid versus Mad Lions. I mean, that is quite the way to reach our climax. My goodness, and that's one to look forward to, Trev.
NA versus EU, the first clash at Worlds 2020. Also the first time that we've had 4 seeds representing Europe, so I'm very excited to see what they do. Frankly, though, I'm actually more excited about seeing some of the other teams. course, I'm really looking forward to seeing what INTZ can do on the stage. I
Yes.
want to see what Legacy can do later today. I love watching what play-ins teams bring from their regional meta to the international stage, and then how that begins to impact the actual tournament meta for the following weeks.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of other names to watch, you've already given us V3, so you've got the one in the terms of the Japanese league. But out of that top three, your Mad Lions, your Team Liquid, do you think one's coming in particularly hot?
Euphoria, baby. I'm all on the Mad Lions hype train.
All right.
Although I think LGD might be the victors of the entire planes. I think they'll do the best, but I'm on that Euphoria hype train.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. No surprises there. But the opening game, speaking of Mad Lions, is none other than the Lions taking on INTZ. Trevor's already got whispers of them. It's a young lineup from Europe, and they're taking on the young Lions from Europe. That's the ones. They're taking on none other than the CB LOL champions.
They've done it! It's the Mad Lions! The rookies have risen up.
We can win against anyone right now. We are way stronger than before. Everyone is in that try-hard mentality right now because it's just the biggest tournament of the year.
INTZ pentacampeão do CBLOL! 5 vezes tá aí, então!
Last. So EU has a tradition of sending a rookie team to Worlds, and this year it's Mad Lions. Does Mad Lions' debut make a bit of a mark of the changing of the guard? You know, are we starting to see, because it's happening in Counter-Strike, where all of these young, you know, these teenagers, these ones that grew up watching LCS of yesteryear, and now they're stepping onto the world stage and have this hunger, unlike any of those veterans now in their waning years. Is this something's happening?
Yeah, if you look across the board in Worlds in general, you've got teams like Rogue, Mad Lions, R7, Rainbow 7, so there's lots of rookies coming in, and the good thing about rookies is they're so passionate, they're so aggressive, they're so innovative, like they come up with crazy picks. Mad Lions brought so many random picks to Europe as well, so that's the main thing about the rookies popping off. And if you look at other teams, maybe if they have too many veterans, their playstyle becomes a little bit stale, but with Mad, it's always going to be a fun surprise sometimes.
It absolutely is, and this is a team that has taken Europe by storm. They've consistently improved throughout the year. They've shown that they have deep abilities to play multiple styles. I'm going to be looking at Shadow and Kaiser as the two players that are coming to the international stage for the first time that really blew me away at a regional level, but all eyes are going to be on Humanoid. Mad Lions took the spot of Splyce, replaced them. Humanoid is the only returning member from World Championship last year. He went from play-ins to quarterfinals, and frankly, made me eat humble pie. I did not expect Splyce to do as well as they did, and I did not expect Humanoid to compete at the level he did. The expectation I had for his ceiling is now blown wide apart, and I want to see what he can do leading these young, hungry players at the World Championship.
Exactly, leading the young, hungry players. I mean, if you look at Humanoid last year, he was the rookie on the first-time World stage alongside with Torres, so he had players like Chachi, Cirque, all these veterans around him, but now he's around 4 rookies. It's their first World Championship. He's the one who kind of needs to step up, show them the way, and just basically help them with anything regarding nerves or even in gameplay.
But don't you think that position of nurture can actually help some players develop their own game? Like for Humanoid to impart knowledge onto the 4 other players, do you think that might actually help him internally as well?
Yeah, definitely probably helps him grow as a leader, helps him in game as well, being the shot caller, stuff like this. So yeah, I'm excited to see how they do it.
Yeah, just awareness as well, just being aware of what your teammates are doing to a higher extent. I'm excited to see Humanoid in the Rift, and their opponents are INTZ from the CB LOL, who made it to the group stage way back in 2016. And this year, they're looking to do it again. So 5 titles, 5 years, it sounds good, but you've been looking. How good does it look?
Well, looking at them in 2016, like you said, they did beat DDG. That was the highlight of Brazil's time at Worlds. So they definitely need to step up when it comes to the play-ins, get to the group stage and try and show a really good international performance. I think looking at the roster in general, you have players like Tay and Envy, who I'm looking at the most. If you look at Tay individually, he has so many solo kills, but he has so many solo deaths as well. So like you said before, he's such a volatile player. I think that he's definitely the highlight for me. And Envy is kind of like the opposite in a sense, where he's so reliable, he's so consistent, he's just such a good mage.
Oh, okay, so Tay and Envy, the yin and yang of the INTZ roster.
But that way together, they balance it out. Right? For me, going Golden Oldie, the 2016 era, 2050 INTZ when we last saw them. Revolta is a name that was playing consistently. The CB LOL region has been extremely volatile. Their representation at international stages has changed a lot. And they were one of the scary teams, you know, coming from play-ins, and now that's fallen off. So a lot of pressure on INTZ, watching them come up against EU as well. We know Mad Lion's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
This is a great litmus test to set expectations for the rest of the group stage.
No, and absolutely. And when it comes to Mad Lions, you know, clearly coming into this as to a degree a favorite, does that give some degree of an edge to INTZ in terms of there just being so much info on the way Mad Lions intend to find their victories?
Yeah, well, I think INTZ as a team, they have such deep champion pools. They've shown us tanks top, tanks jungle. They've seen us different picks in mid, like assassins and stuff. So when they read Mad Lions and they see the script with the Shadow Lucian, Kaiser on the playmakers, maybe they can draft around it. I think draft in this series would be very important.
No, okay, so eyes on the draft, eyes on Humanoid, and my God, guys, I can't believe I'm saying it. I think it's almost time. It is, okay.
Well,
this is what the teams have been working towards all year as we kick off the 10th edition of League of Legends World Championship.
It's Worlds!
Fantastic.
Yes!
Players and fans of League of Legends, I bid you welcome to Worlds 2020. We are about to kick off the play-in competition here. My name is Clayton Captain Flowers Reigns. I am honored to be bringing you these opening games next to your friend and mine, a man who needs no introduction, but I will give him one anyway, Mr. Barento Raz Muhammad, joining me for these first three games.
Let's go, Cap.
Let's do it.
You know what day it is, Cap?
Opening Worlds Day, my friend.
Hell yes. That's why I like to call it Team, Day LFG. Because not only are everybody around the world going, let's flip and go around the world, but also, we're also looking for games. So I'm incredibly excited to watch these games here today.
Well, if you're looking for games, we're going to be starting off with some good stuff here in the play-in stage. We got Mad Lions going up against INTZ here to kick everything off. Mad Lions, that 4th seed from Europe. Europe has done pretty well internationally here in recent years, and they've earned themselves a 4th seed because of that success, going up against the #1 team from the CB LOL in INTZ. I am always impressed by the fandom of this region when we get to international competition. You know they are going to be screaming their hearts out for this team to compete here.
Yes, and it's infectious because those players play hard, and every single time you look at those cameras, you can see it in their eyes. Of course, right now we're looking at Mad Lions. Across the board, Orome in the top lane, Shadow in the jungle, Humanoid in the mid lane, and the bot side of the map, Carzzy and Kaiser. I want to focus on Kaiser as a player because to me, he showed just how strong individually he is as a support. I think he's the best support in Europe. I know the European casters have said that a lot. Of course, it's a damn shame that we have Core JJ in this play-ins because I would have easily called him the best support in group stages, or at least like a play-in. So it's going to be incredibly fun to watch him play this game out going up against INTZ.
And over on the other side, their opponents on INTZ, RedBert, micaO, Envy, Shini, and Tay. We're into Champion Select to kick things off. Let's see what they're going to be banning, how they're going to be playing this one. Caitlyn and Lilia banned out on the red side here by INTZ. No surprise. I'm expecting a lot of draft presence from both of these champions throughout the entirety of Worlds competition. When you look across the board, you see the first ban coming out from the Mad Lions is the Bard. This is the most banned champion, period, against INTZ as a team. Orianna and Volibear also banned away.
I love the bans from INTZ on red side. Expect that to be a constant from Lilia and Caitlyn. I'm interested in Lucian. I want to see if teams prioritize it. It's a great flex pick. Also, I think there are a lot of great AP junglers, like, of course, Lilia that got banned, Nidalee, Evelynn, Karthus, Gragas that got buffed as well. There it is, first pickable. So, great first pick from Mad Lions. It's going to be really tough from INTZ to really figure out where it's going.
Exactly. The flexibility combined with the strength create an incredible threat here for this pick. Definitely glad to see it picked up early in the draft. Makes a lot of sense. Expecting to see more of it as we move forward here. But now INTZ has the next 2 picks. How will they respond? The Ashe locked in here. This has been a champion that we've seen plenty of throughout many different regions. Not surprised to see it locked in with the Caitlyn banned away. Has kind of been a staple of bot lane play here recently.
Yeah, Ashe is just insane. Even on red side, if Caitlyn is open, I know in a lot of playoff games around the world we've been seeing Caitlyn first pick. Ashe and counter-pick supports have been so damn good in terms of giving you priority in the lane, so expect a lot more Ashes, but man, Tristana being picked up by INTZ.
Marksman, marksman, marksman. The first 3 picks of this first game in the play-in stage, all marksman champions. It seems like the teams know what they want, and oh baby, Shadow picking up the Evelynn. Going true to his name here, prowling around in the jungle. This champ, when it pops off, can take over an entire game of League of Legends.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Evelynn, especially in the LEC, especially from Selfmade. It's a pick that's being picked up more frequently. I already talked about the AP junglers that we've been seeing, especially in solo queue. Renekton rounding that up makes for a very strong top side of the map from Mad Lions. I think all of the preparation that they had coming into the group stage is showing out.
All right, one more pick from INTZ before we get to the second part of the bans. They know what their opponents have for solo lanes and jungle. It means we will be looking at bans towards the support and bottom lane roles most likely. Gragas locked in here for INTZ.
So funny enough, Shini has received a lot of Gragas bans in CB LOL because that's a champion that people really know is his best, even out of meta. When people around the world aren't playing Gragas, in Brazil, they fear his. So the buffs that came into his armor, making it easier for him to clear out through the jungle, and even now knowing what his matchup is, so he doesn't have to fear for an Olaf that can really be a problem, makes it much easier of a pick, gives them an AP option so they could run Tristana mid into the Lucian. I think this is a great draft here from INTZ as well.
Thresh banned out as the first ban of this second phase down here. Neither side has a support locked in so far, so I am expecting to see a few different bans towards that role. Shen banned away from the side of, by the side of Mad Lions, excuse me. Shen has been one of those champions that we've seen quite a lot of success of. Back in North America, we got to see the resurgence of the power of River Shen in the jungle, and then in some other regions too. The champ also being very effective there in the top lane, so having that ban away, preventing Stand United from being on the map, I like to see it. Syndra, a staple of the mid lane, a champion you always see at the highest levels of competition in League of Legends, banned out by INTZ.
Also just a strong bot lane. Syndra here, you should fear it because if you put in Lucian in the mid lane, like, the damage spread is pretty good from Mad Lion's side. I think they're trying to aim for a Karma fourth pick, because Ashe Karma just secures yourself a bot lane shove. It also is great at being able to put down Ardent Sensor on either of your ADs. They do have to be concerned about having a front line. They do need it. Gragas can still be really squishy. Go straight into AP. Zhonya's is not enough. Nice lock-in here is going to be going towards Tay. That Urgot
picked up. Powerful, powerful capabilities there in the top lane. Can be a little bit slow to start, but once he hits that level 13 sweet spot and gets those low cooldowns on the shotgun knees, this champion can seriously tear up some fights. Jhin locked in on the side of Mad Lions, so there's our 4th marksman pick of the draft. Obviously, we weren't expecting the Lucian to go into the bottom lane here on Mad Lions, so we were needing them to pick up the AD carry that they're going to be taken into the bottom lane, and they pick up the Virtuoso.
Yeah, and they're going to have to just blind pick their support here. Thresh being banned makes it a little harder, but Kaiser has just had so many support picks throughout just the summer split of the LEC and also just in solo queue, so his champion pool is huge. Pantheon going to be a strong one.
Pantheon. This is a champion that there's been a lot of talk about recently. I saw even some fired up community threads on Reddit previously about the state of Pantheon and how effective he can be as a support. We know how effective the champion can be when you have the support item automatically leveling up through gold. Umbral Glaive is also an incredibly potent item for a low price point.
Yeah.
Champions like Pantheon can get a lot of value out of, and considering his E is a true invulnerability, he doesn't need a lot of economy to make it work. But hey, if we're talking about supports that have nigh invulnerability and are very effective at dives and tanking, Alistar also fits the bill.
Exactly. I think the clear compositions are there for both Mad and INTZ. For Mad, it's a strong snowball comp. It's also really effective on side lanes. You want to have the pure damage, Blade of the Rune King, Black Cleaver, Renekton on the side lane as alongside and Lucian, and have Evelynn try and hover. Meanwhile, INTZ, straight front to back. And in fact, they can burst people down. Tristana and Ashe damage is quite a lot, and you can just try and get them down to a great threshold for Urgot to burst them. So I'm liking what I see from INTZ if they can get the team fights going.
And one thing that I think is going to be a lot of fun to watch in this matchup between these two teams in particular, you look at Mad Lions and you see a team that wins explosively or loses explosively. This is not a CS it up, just wait and scale type of team. It's going to be about early aggression. It's going to be about trying to make things happen early on in the game. Across the board with INTZ, they have a curious sort of trend where the first 10 minutes of the game can kind of be whatever, but if INTZ really want to win and play a game of League of Legends that convinces you this is a real contender of a team, they're always going to have an explosive moment, this period from 10 to 15 minutes where they really start to take off. And I think that's what so much of this game is going to come down to, Raz, the 10 to 15 minute mark. Will Mad Lions have enough aggro and enough momentum built up there to crush that INTZ wind that comes forward? Or will INTZ be able to make that happen and bring about that potential win condition that we've seen in their games in their own region?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a David versus Goliath moment. I really also just love, if I'm supposed to favor one comp or another, I enjoy Mad Lions comp. I think Mad Lions comp is very easy to execute. They have strong lanes, and also they can play around their side lanes really effectively. Meanwhile, INTZ, you're right. I mean, past 10 minutes, it comes down to their setup around Drakes, Rift Heralds. If they can get the fights they want, then they can really snowball with the front line that they have.
Lots of frontline, also having the ability of the extra turret push power behind a champion like a Tristana does create a situation where if they have some leads, if they can approach that 10 to 15 minute window with some advantages and some momentum of their own, it will be easy to snowball that into some extra gold through taking tier 1 turrets, through looking for turret plates, talking about Rift Heralds especially. Combine a Rift Herald with a Tristana, knock down the first couple of plates there with explosive charge and auto attacks, let Shelly finish it off, money in your pocket, my friend.
Yeah, and I wonder, I mean, remember, this is first game of Worlds here in play-ins, and also there's some champion unfamiliarity. We haven't seen the Gragas in such a long time. Urgot as well, depending on the region, you haven't seen that in a long time. So there's going to be certain moments in matchups where you might slip up. There might be a moment in a team fight where you're not really sure how it's going to play out. These moments are moments where, honestly, INTZ can prey upon. So that's what's going to make it interesting for me. Remember how the groups play out? You're gonna only really face INTZ or Mad Lions. They're gonna face each other once.
Yeah.
So you only get that one opportunity in this specific matchup. If the upset happens, then that's that. You don't get your chance of redemption.
Yeah, single round robin doesn't mean you get to go back and watch the footage later and say, all right, this is how we'll adapt. It's all just about making that first curveball count. If that surprise factor is strong enough, it can give you the win. And in a best of one situation, that one win is enough. We are now on the Summoner's Rift. We're kicking it off. It's the first games of Worlds 2020. Mad Lions from the Mad Lions from the LEC going up against INTZ from the CB LOL to break open this show. Tay walking into the enemy jungle here early on. Orome waiting around in that brush, has Shadow right behind him. Remember, when it comes to Evelynn, the first 5 levels don't really feel that crazy. Wants to hit level 6, get that camouflage so she can move around the map undetected and become that much deadlier. The champ is incredibly vulnerable if caught out of position or played sloppily with her engages and needs to find effective flanks.
Yeah, and also just the early game, at least the first 2 clears, going to be important just so you don't get invaded upon. An experience disadvantage. If you ever fall behind on an Evelynn, it can feel really bad, especially, you know, let's just say you get your Runic Echoes item. The next item takes a long time. It's literally a Rabadon's death cap, by the way. So you really can't fall behind here. So I love INTZ's level 1. Got a ward towards topside so they know where Evelynn is starting. That's where Renekton was going to look for a leash there, so they got that a bit of information. Gragas came back on the map, got his ward down, and he also now has Sweeper's Trinket. So it looks like they put a lot of effort here. I also want to make a point of, in terms of, there's some familiarity between both of these organizations. Peter Dunn, the coach of Mad Lions, actually worked with INTZ, worked with the coach Maestro, who is right now the head coach of INTZ, about a few years ago. So they know each other very well. They both speak highly of each other. Regional experts say a lot of great things about Maestro, because remember, INTZ at the beginning of the year actually had to fight for their lives. And they literally got put in the relegation tournament, went to full 5 games, had to really come together, come into the regular season as the second best team, and then went up against Pain Gaming in the finals and really had a strong, they looked like the smarter team between the two and had a really strong showing. So this is a team that's constantly growing, constantly learning.
Yeah, when you look at sometimes the emerging regions and the top teams compared to the other teams present there, plenty of times in the past we've seen the story of a squad that is just dominant from start to finish. They're ahead above any of their competition, and international level is the first time they're ever really challenged. Well, INTZ, you already brought it up, but back in spring, they were in 7th.
Yeah.
They had to play through relegation. They came back. They're second in the regular split in summer, and now they're here at Worlds, at the play-ins, taking on an opponent of a much higher caliber than what they would normally be used to in Mad Lions from EU. And for Mad Lions, man, remember, this is a team that came out of the gate swinging in Europe. Granted, they declined a little bit over time in terms of the season as things went on. They looked rougher in playoffs than they did in regular split play, but this is a team that impressed a lot of people. It's a very young roster, and with how aggressive they like to play their League of Legends, I think we can expect a lot of big moments out of them here in this tournament.
Yeah, and we're starting off pretty slow, but oh, he dashed in.
Not going to be slow for very much longer. They keep doing that, my friend. Humanoid nearly finding the kill onto Envy. Now, Envy didn't use either summoner spell there. Shini also not having to use his own flash to get involved and stop Humanoid from getting the kill. Both of these mid-lane marksmen are running a flash, exhaust, press the attack loadout in terms of summoner spells and keystones, but Humanoid nearly put him in the dirt.
Yeah, Humanoid has a huge advantage here. Thankfully, of course, doesn't get stopped here. He's able to freeze the wave with the cannon minion there. And on top of that, he wasn't afraid of the gank that was coming through. He was actually playing the lane out really well, poking through the wave to get a lot of chip damage on the Envy. So, I mean, that was great from Shini to be hunting for the gank. Wasn't going to be possible, though, with Envy getting chipped out so low.
And here's an interesting thing. If you look at the itemization between the two mid laners here, you've got 2 Dorian's Blades in the inventory of Envy, but the Corrupting Potion plus the Pickaxe in the inventory of Humanoid. Meanwhile, we got a fight in the bottom side. Shouldn't turn into a whole lot more. RedBert's still hanging around here, looking to see if maybe he can get a little bit out of the trample. Kaiser tries to find a little bit. It's exhaust for exhaust in mid lane. Humanoid finding some damage, taking a little in retaliation, but Envy's still the one with the lower health bar. When you got 200 HP up against a Lucian, Mr. Razzleplasm, you are in danger in the lane.
Humanoid is just so damn good. Honestly, he's insane. It's a treat to be watching him during his play in the LEC and just how well he's able to play out this matchup. At least for the Tristana, the lane is pushing towards her because she was stuck in a pretty bad spot earlier. And it's now Shini just trying to hunt for this gank. Let's see if it can work. But Humanoid's not going to waste his dash needlessly, so it's very safe for him. He also has the pickaxe that probably is a great telltale that he's going towards Muramana, so he's going to be scaling up. It's a slow game. I think it benefits Mad Lions. The lanes have been looking really well from them. Not just the mid lane, but also you've been seeing the priority that Carzzy and Kaiser has been having in the bot side of the map. If they get a good back timing down there, then they can actually secure first dragon for their team.
Now with both junglers in the top lane, we could see a little bit of a battle here. CC coming through, dive going out. Tay underneath the turret gets charmed up. However, they don't have the health bars to continue the chase, continue looking to make the play here. Shini going in, goes for the body slam into the cask. They have applied the harpoon and Shadow. Oh no! What? That is a misclick that you are going to be feeling later on. Put the sad emote above your head. A tragic misplay for Tay.
You hate to see it. You never like to see that happen on the world stage.
No!
You were so close to being able to net that first blood. But that just was the worst misclick you can have, man.
If he would have not clicked that teleport, Shadow was so close to being dead to the execution from the Urgot ultimate. The Evelynn only level 5 with no ability to use the last caress to escape. Shadow is thanking his lucky stars he got away from that one. INTZ, they missed their opportunity for the first blood in the top lane. Not what they were looking for. We can applaud Shini for being there and setting up what should have been a kill, but unfortunately the misexecution is ultimately what it boils down to.
And it has a lasting effect. If it was just a harmless issue, then fine. But that's now no teleport. You lose an entire wave for that. And if Orome, of course, is just going to be walking back to the lane, that's now TP advantage for Mad Lions. I already said that they had an opportunity to go for first Drake here. Now it's just not going to be even contestable for INTZ for it.
And when you look at INTZ, how this team wins their games, how they like to play, their solo lane in mid and top have the highest solo kills of anybody in their region. These guys like to make the game a little bit bloody. They like to do some of the carrying work here for INTZ. And now that Tay has lost those resources, he doesn't have the teleport. He missed out on the opportunity for that kill. That is weakening that win condition. It is weakening how they like to play. We are 1 minute and 45 seconds away from that critical 10 to 15 minute window that I mentioned too, that is often so important when you look at whether or not INTZ finds success or failure in a game of League of Legends. So as we get closer and closer to that, make sure we're watching what INTZ does as a team because of the importance of that 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's good to point out something that I've noticed for INTZ. There are a few teams that, you know, when I prep for before game day, I want to see if they play respectfully on their side lane, as Envy's getting a lot of damage down by the culling.
Yeah.
Just watching out just in case. But for me, INTZ are a team that they want to fight and they want to utilize their top laner. There'll be times where they might even lose top lane wave because Tay does something like this, where he wants to look for an opportunity where Mad Lions think that they have a numbers advantage or even numbers, and they turn it on a dime. So if Mad Lions can play respectfully here, if Orome just makes a point to the team that I don't see where my top laner is, just be careful, then great. What ends up happening is then Tay just loses another wave. There's another opening, another window for Orome to, you know, roam himself. So I love the fact that Mad Lions are taking this game nice and disciplined.
Mad Lions mid laner, again, always ready there on that dash. Relentless pursuit becoming more of a relentless retreat to make sure that Tristana can't get any extra damage onto him here. As Shadow is working on the Rift Herald, he's spotted out. They see what he's up to here. You can see the Scryer's Bloom also keeping an eye on that ward. That one will decay now, but Shini will just take his red buff away. Considering Humanoid is moving over to the Rift Herald now, it's going to be a 3-man attempt on this objective from Mad Lions. Doesn't look like it'll be contested here at all. And since we are just at 10 minutes, Raz, that means that 99% of the window of using this Rift Herald will still get the Mad Lions plates. They have plenty of time to use it in that time frame and still get that bonus.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That entire play, for YouTube users, please replay it. That's a set play that the best teams are able to utilize. Because while you see it and say, well, Shadow's doing it alone, Humanoid is shoving out through mid, the most important factor is bot lane basing. That Kaiser recognizes that he has a push through bot side. He can base, come through mid. He's able to be there just in case the fight happens, and a fight's gonna happen top lane.
Okay, in some trouble. CC coming down, damage going through. First blood for the Mad Lion.
Too much to take. The entire time, Tay has been just taking hurt after hurt. Jungle comes topside, way too much burst, and that's a first kill coming over to Mad Lions.
This is what Evelynn can do, sneaking into a lane, setting it up, and facilitating the damage. When Renekton engages with the point-and-click stun, it is oh so easy to follow up. And with Tay in the ground, man, Tay is now down 25 CS. The Renekton getting the kill money for the first blood as well. Life is about to get more difficult in the top half of the map for INTZ. Mad Lions commanding a 1,500 gold lead here.
Yeah, gold disadvantage just across the board. Bot lane, understandable. It was just going to be a tough one just because Alistar versus Pantheon is difficult early for the Alistar. Of course, scale is better, but have been getting pushed in. Also, Shadow's been hovering for them consistently. Humanoid's just been a boss so far this game, absorbing so much pressure. Now, of course, it's an unfortunate base timing. They're going to be losing Dragon, but it's just a Cloud Dragon. Overall, Mad Lions are just really happy about how the map state's been playing out.
Honestly, this is a very late first Dragon, too. 12 minutes into the game for the first Drake. This is not a lot of prioritization towards this target. Could be the fact that it's a Cloud Drake and it's not that great early on. Damage onto Kaiser coming out there. Shini looking for the solo kill here. Kaiser buying himself a little bit more time, flashes over the wall, goes for the stun onto Envy, who knocks him away and finds a kill. Now the game is tied up at 1-1. The Evelynn goes in, looking to find some sort of a play, but Shini's into the stasis, flashing over the wall, keeping himself alive. Nice arrow coming through, not nice enough. Humanoid puts a couple bullets in his back, and now another kill is going through. Into the grinder goes Shadow. The teleport is not gonna screw it up this time. Urgot gets his revenge.
Mad Lions want to fight back. But it's nice to see INTZ just going tit for tat here, able to catch Shadow out with a great run around the back by RedBert. RedBert just finds himself in the enemy jungle just for that flank.
No reason not to get yourself involved in any fight you're near. Let's take another look at how it started here with Shini running into Kaiser.
Yeah, perfect place at the perfect time. Able to get the kill, of course. But, of course, Kaiser made them work for it. Great flash W on towards the Tristana just to see if he can make it work. Also gets closer to Shadow so they can at least get a response kill in the enemy jungle. TPs come down, and it just shows that both teams are laying it all down on the line. They don't want to lose a game, a best of one, by the way, to just a play like this, so they all double down for the play.
And honestly, Shini ending up in the way of the execution from Shadow's Evelynn. He tried to go for the flash in the proc of his charm into the instant last caress to just make sure he insta-kills his opponent. That not working out made that fight as fair as it was. Now in the top lane, we've got a couple of different players from INTZ looking to get themselves involved. That Rift Herald was just about to expire. It had to be summoned right now. There was about 15 seconds left on the timer. If they can get the charge off, Shelly is wasting time. INTZ have managed to hold Shelly off for maybe long enough.
There we go.
My goodness! They held Shelly off, and she hits the turret at 14:01. No plate money in the bank.
Just like that, enough time. Remember the first gank that they had top lane when they were able to get the kill on the Tay? They didn't want to put down Rift Herald immediately because they didn't want to just do it for the plates. They wanted to be able to get the full turret as well, the full setup.
Well,
of course, weren't able to get it.
They ended up trying to be a little bit greedy for a little bit of extra success, and they end up missing plate money by 1 single second. Look at this turret plate count, kind of describing the pace of this early game. It's very slow from both sides. A single turret plate taken in the first 14 minutes between both sides in this game. That one, of course, belonging to Mad Lions, who are still about 2,000 gold ahead. 40 CS lead in the top lane for the Renekton over the Urgot, about a 30 lead in the mid lane for Lucian over the Tristana. The solo laners of Mad Lions just very quietly building up impressive leads for themselves.
Yeah, while that's true, I'm really impressed that INTZ are keeping up. And there's a lot of faith with how they want to play out their comp as well. We already saw how difficult it was for Shadow to be able to get an assassination, or even, honestly, just to even play a team fight out, with Exhaust being there from Envy, and on top of that, the bulky front line being able to shut him down. So Mad Lions want to spread him out. The fact that first Dragon went over to INTZ is going to actually bite Mad Lions in the long run, because if we start getting Dragon stacking here from INTZ, Mad Lions are going to have to respond, and that's not how they want to play out their comp.
Next Drake will be spawning here 1 minute from now. Infernal Drake, the first one was already Cloud, means we're going to get an Ocean or a Mountain Soul. So no matter what it is, the Soul will be very defensively focused. As Carzzy pushes up the bottom lane here with plates already out of the picture, the Jhin will be able to take that one down just like topside Envy. I mentioned in draft how effective the Tristana can be in these situations. Shadow coming around from behind. INTZ's top laner trying to get himself away. Very nice arrow onto Humanoid, nearly killing him off. A beautiful shot from Tay.
Get over here! That was a play being started by Mad Lions, by the way, and not only were they able to get Humanoid's flash, they got his life as well.
Such a good arrow right at the edge of the turret range. Make sure that Humanoid ends up getting punished for the attempt at the turret dive coming out from Mad Lions. They lose their mid laner. INTZ makes the moves, and now INTZ are on the Rift Herald. The Drake is still not spawned here for another couple of seconds. They're able to take this objective. There is no contest from the side of Mad Lions because Humanoid is only just now responding. That's some good moves coming out from INTZ as they also take the top lane tier 1.
Yeah. Cap, we got a problem.
All right, we got a problem. Describe the problem to me, my friend.
Like, remember, hearing from the desk, talking about INT's greatest moment in Worlds being able to take down EDG. We're getting to that point where Mad Lions are just responding to, or at least no, INTZ is responding to Mad Lions punch for punch. I have sung the praises of Kaiser, his movements and, you know, walking towards the play. RedBert has matched him 2 times already. Not in just the top lane play, but also, of course, when they were trying to dive the Urgot in mid. So it's getting slow. Mad Lions, I hope they're not getting frustrated with how the game's been playing out. They've been trying to make plays happen, and they haven't been going in their favor. In fact, just adding to that point, if the teleport didn't happen, you know, I don't always want to harp on it, that would have been even better for INTZ's play. So they're still in it. I'm loving what I see from this team.
I'm loving the fact that Tay had probably the worst botched execution that could have possibly happened for a first blood in the top lane. It had no effect on his mental whatsoever.
Yeah!
Now 2-1-0 and has managed to land some very effective ultimates to guarantee those kills for his team. This Urgot is a champion of mental warfare, my friend. The teleport was just trying to make it fair for his opponents. But looking at those opponents, that Renekton is so damn strong. Orome, he has the Black Cleaver already done, has had for a while, getting closer and closer to the completion of the Blade of the Ruined King. When this Renekton dives into the fight, look at the targets on the enemy team.
Yeah.
You've got 2 different marksmen and a Gragas with a Runic Echo and a Sorcerer's Shoe. These guys are not going to survive.
It's not. They're just not. And also take a look at how Mad Lions are getting vision. This is just going to be a dead cow.
Oh boy, RedBert, he pops the ulti. He's trying to stay alive, finds the knockup onto Orome. RedBert getting himself away. It might still be beef for dinner, I'm not quite sure. Nice interrupt there on the Jhin ulti. Mad Lions will not find the kill onto the INTZ support.
But you have to watch out for how Mad Lions have been getting control, and they've been getting it through Humanoid's lane. We talked about how Shadow is going to be, shadowing for Humanoid at all times. If they're going to be playing side lanes, that Tay, or Envy that is, has to respect Humanoid's position, that he's going to have a numbers advantage, you just may not see it. And so when you're getting them the full respect, then they're just going to be walking with Kaiser to get full control through the river. It almost amounted to a kill on towards RedBert.
Oh, Shini. Shadow showing up from the side, but the turnaround play. RedBert joins the mix now, finding some stuns down onto Shadow. Oh my goodness, the last caress necessary to get him away from the cask that likely would have just killed him off.
Yeah, a bit of a botch play. Ends up being a flash from Shadow. I'm trying to figure out what these teams are playing for. I know for sure INTZ are looking for mid lane turret, and they should be able to get it knowing that they pushed Shadow off. So, might be able to get
nice
the kill.
Stun. There we go. Follow up with the flash, and Urgot yet again. He's gone fishing, boys. He's landing the ultis every single time, and INTZ, they take the turret with 2 on the side.
They're breaking the door down in the first day of Worlds, first game, against what people would believe to be the best team in this group.
Very impressive stuff from this INTZ squad responding to Mad Lions. The arrow execution from micaO, the follow-up from RedBert, flashing in for the Alistar combo to facilitate the kill and provide the time for the rest of the team to jump in there. Nice response from Mad Lions. They see that INTZ is back. They grab the mid lane tier 1 turret. Let's take another look at the fight here and the kill onto the line.
Straight onto him. I mean, and it's so easy to play it out to immediately exhaust the Lucian and clear the way so the Urgot ultimate can land straight on top of him. I think we already talked about how easy it is to run this composition from INTZ once you group up, and how difficult it is for Mad team. Like, if Mad Lions have to play towards them, it's really difficult, but they found somebody.
RedBert is in a pretty bad spot. The Alistar ulti makes you tanky, but not tanky enough. Kaiser with a well-timed E keeps himself alive, and now Mad Lions are going to make it 2. They see the fact that INTZ are setting up the plays, and they say anything you can do, we can do better. 2 for free for the Mad Lions, and now they've got control over the mid lane.
Yeah, just as we're singing their praises, you need to have that consistency, because this is a really bad timing to lose 2 of your members. I was thinking about if they were going to be looking for this mid lane turret, they might be anyways, but the major objective that they're playing for is the Ocean Dragon. It's an Ocean Soul, by the way, and INTZ were looking to stack that. So the fact that they came out with such a huge play mid lane, and then now they just took 2 steps back.
We're also getting closer to the point, you already mentioned how Evelynn can kind of have this weird power spike where if you fall behind it feels bad because you go with a hat second item and it takes so much gold to get. Well, sir, League of Legends has taught me, in order to make a hat, you've got to have 2 sticks. There are 2 sticks in Shadow's inventory, and that means all he has to do is pay the shopkeeper to put them together into some fancy headwear, and all of a sudden, this Evelynn's going to be doing that much more damage. Humanoid with a flash away, but now the fight's going to turn back against INTZ, and with Envy out of the picture, surely they're going to have to run all the way home. RedBert's eating the bullets coming out from Humanoid. It's the Jhin able to find the double kill, and Carzzy is crazy, baby. Evelynn going in, able to find some damage with the last caress, and INTZ run away licking their wound.
The snowball is starting to come, and micaO had to flash away from the Jhin W because it was the Evelynn ultimate that really targeted him. This game is getting out of whack right now. Mad Lions has set their vision. INTZ are not necessarily respecting it, and there we have it. This could be a Baron here for Mad Lions.
Baron attempt from the Lions. Already got it down below half HP. Tay coming in around the corner, but they're already ready. The Mad Lions have set the trap for their prey, and his name is Tay, but he's coming around and he's found 2 kills. Double kill to the INTZ top laner. Over the wall, he might be able to go. He shoots it in, but he will not steal. Humanoid secures the Baron, but 2 members of the Mad Lions are dead. They underestimated the power of the Urgot. Remember level 13, Raz. This is the critical point of Urgot when the shotgun knee passive is on 2.5 seconds, and the champion cannot be underestimated.
Humanoid flashes at the perfect time, and Envy was just caught off guard, not respecting, of course, the positioning of the enemy team. And at this point, it's just so hard to play it out. Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. Every single person ever played League of Legends has felt that expression deep down before, as the Ocean Drake is now being taken by INTZ. Remember, this is not anywhere close to a soul for either side. It's still only a 1 to 2 Drake count because of the fact that the first ones went 1 to each side, so not resulting in a win condition here anytime soon, but it is one step closer there for INTZ. But remember, Mad Lions are still wearing purple right now. Mad Lions can still be the ones looking to make some kind of a move. Ashe Arrow will not find a target. Shini also using the Predator there, being ready to catch up if it did connect. But now that that big engage is down, they don't have that go button.
This is bad.
INTZ are falling back.
I'm pretty sure Shadow saw him.
Oh, the go button's coming out anyway. It's RedBert leading the charge. He's in the front line, going to be taking up some damage, but now Kaiser's also got to be worried. Humanoid coming in from the side, able to find the kill onto micaO as Shini gets a kill onto Kaiser. Last caress says goodbye, Alistar. See you later. Envy trying to walk away. The Jhin bullets are flying, but nobody's dying. INTZ. 3 men left alive. They're walking back to the base. It's a 2-for-1 overall. Carzzy still looking for the deadly flourish. Tier 2 turret down in the mid lane. Baron buff still enchanting the remaining players on the push here for Mad Lions. They will knock down this tier 3 turret and expose the mid lane inhibitor.
Man, INTZ just doubling down. Without Baron, face to face with Mad Lions, they still think they can win these fights. And even just seeing what Envy was seeing, being at a flank position is always really risky, by the way. If you're trying to play around Fog of War, you don't know where Evelynn is, so you run that risk that she sees you in line bush. They go for the engage at the end, but it's just so easy to pile on damage on towards RedBert. And my god, Humanoid finds that assassination.
Well done by Humanoid, dashing in so aggressively to kill off the enemy AD carry at the very start of the fight. 0, 1, and 5 for micaO. Hasn't got any of the kills for himself yet, but has been instrumental in setting things up. Kaiser walking a little bit close to the rush, but look at the amount of time he was able to buy utilizing the defensive power of the Pantheon. Now Humanoid's in a bad spot. Now Humanoid's going to be taken down, and now Tay is on the hunt. Flipping the Evelynn behind him, looking to walk around, able to find the kill, making a double, over to Tay, looking to grab even more. It's a triple kill for Urgot. There's that cooldown I am talking about. The damage is way too real.
And we're back on the map. It's that champion unfamiliarity that is making it work for INTZ. Because if you saw the beginning of the fight, Kaiser's patting himself on the back. I just absorbed all that damage. I found all 5 members, guys. We know where they are. Like, ordinarily from that point, you'd want to push out mid lane because you just squashed their play.
Yeah.
But Humanoid found, gets picked off. It was INTZ that saw him in that split second, found that pick, and then were able to snowball it into a teamfight win.
Tay has 8 kills. It doesn't matter that he was down 50 CS at one point. He's got 8 kills. Let's take another look at it.
Oh, it's his point of view too. The moment he sees that Ashe ulti hit, gets right in. And he wants that fear to hit Evelynn as well. And this is the most satisfying moment in League of Legends, my friend.
The damage.
It's huge.
He's shredding people. All right, Mad Lions. Gonna have to be a little bit more careful to prevent these kinds of situations. Urgot has become the name of the game. And Raz, look at that damage dealt. 2,649 in that fight. RedBert the one tanking some damage here in the mid lane, but the Alistar does have the get out of jail free card there with the ulti. Tay has Edge of Night and Guardian Angel next to that Black Cleaver. Some lethality to complement the percent-based armor penetration, and the fact that even if you kill him, you really didn't kill him, at least until he's already dead once. You got to go through this man twice, and it is so hard to kill him even once.
Yeah, you really need the poke to begin, like a culling first that can really soften up INTZ before the play happens, before you really feel comfortable taking the team fight. Now, being able to take down Alistar's ultimate is really a good job well done, because you're setting up for the Ocean Dragon. You don't want to have INTZ being on Ocean, Soul Point.
Oh
no!
Carzzy gets hit with the arrow there. Follow-up cask isn't going to do a lot from the Gragas. That's 2 pretty big ultis used, and that Ocean Drake will be spawning here in 40 seconds. Shadow off to the side. RedBert still doesn't have the ulti. The damage is coming through, and here comes your go button. It's Mad Lion saying it's time to fight, but it's support for support traded off. Orome's got the Dominus working. He's building up the Fury, but there's no way for him to enter into the fight. Tay is still this wall that just cannot be reasonably passed through.
If you're INTZ, you're happy about this, because this is Mad Lions trying to take advantage of the cooldown that Alistar ultimate had. They thought they could burst him fast enough, but they ended up losing Kaiser, and now they're forced into 4v4 position. I'm happy if I'm INTZ. You have your best chess piece in Tay, who's leading the charge to fight for this dragon. Oh, wait a minute.
Here you go. Drake taken by the side of Mad Lions. Nobody from INTZ even in the ballpark. Man, forget the ballpark. They're not even in the neighborhood. The Drake goes over for free to the side of Mad Lions, and the Drakes are all tied up at 2-2.
Maybe they weren't confident because they didn't have Ashe Arrow for it at the beginning. Remember, he had to use it at the very start of that last fight.
Yep.
That's possible. A lot of the times you just don't have that clear-cut engage. Then you don't want to put it to chance into Fog of War, so I can respect that.
And as we've been talking about this game and sort of the back and forth nature of the fights, because when you look at the kills, it is 11-12. So lots of even trading happening over the course of this game. But the gold has been, as you just saw with the graph, always on the side of the Mad Lions. Up to a 4,500 lead. It's been over 5,000 at some points in this game. And the team has maintained that.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that INTZ have been finding some plays, particularly around Tay, they still have this goal gap to close. They still have to figure out how to translate these kills into something else that is tangible. Humanoid, not really too concerned about getting engaged on here. He is the Lucian. He has the relentless pursuit to get away from the arrow if they try to engage on him. RedBert going after an engage of his own, trying to stay alive, using the ulti here. Shadow on the chase, looking for the damage.
Oh no!
micaO, and Shadow is down. It's a 1-for-1 trade as Envy tries to escape away from the curtain call. Flash is out. Tay's Guardian Angel is procced. If they're able to kill the Urgot, this is huge for the Mad Lions. Tay's in the middle, but Tay is gone. Mad Lions are able to find two. Mad Lions looking for even more. Orome dashing forward, micaO kiting back. Here comes the Pantheon, and Kaiser wipes him from Summoner's Rift. Now chasing further after Shini. The body slam over the wall, but a huge fight for the Mad Lions.
A great pick from Mad Lions. It was really dicey because they could not go to the bot lane wave. They had to respect the positioning that INTZ had on Baron. If they had even decided to send one member there, that's a really fast Baron take from INTZ, by the way. Their comp has so much damage across the board. Ended up taking that fight, and now should be a Baron for Mad.
Mad Lions working on that second Baron of the game. Remember, the first one was a little close. It looked like it almost got stolen away. They also had to trade two of their players for it. Shini's coming around from behind, looking to maybe get involved here. RedBert wants to at least try to save him. Shini has to body slam away RedBert with the flash over the wall. And it's INTZ who end up just losing resources for this attempt. Tay also using the teleport to try to get there in time in case there was a winnable fight, but it's just not the case. Mad Lions doing some good work. Let's take another look at the replay of the previous fight.
Yeah, I didn't get to see what made it go so wrong for INTZ here because it was a free pick on towards the Evelynn. Yeah, the Alistar was definitely free for the pickings here. Even though micaO couldn't get a lot of good damage off because he was having to deal with Shadow, at the end he did buy a lot of time there, but I mean INTZ, Tay is just really pretty squishy. I think that's the problem here, is that if he's just taking free damage without his team really being able to all in, then you're just in a really tough spot.
The tough spot gets tougher as the Mad Lions build that gold lead up to over 8,000 gold. With the team buffed up with Baron, with this sort of an incredible gold lead, I expect this base to take a lot of hurting on this Baron buff, Raz. The mid lane inhibitor is exposed. The Mad Lions can force a fight on open ground, not near a turret next to that if they so choose. However, there is still one turret standing in the tier 2 line here in bottom lane, which pretty much just should be free gold here for the side of Mad Lions. Mid lane, arrow coming. Oh my goodness gracious! He used the ulti backwards and the damn thing still hit him. Shadow gets picked in mid lane thanks to the Ashe arrow. The hitbox for the arrow, I believe, is slightly behind where the arrow's tip is located. And it meant that although Evelynn jumps back, she still gets hit after the ult.
And you saw him crumbling over in the player cameras there. He's like, no way that hit me. Insane that that's a kill now. 24 seconds off the map. That's their Baron play. I didn't initially like their Baron setup on the map because they can hard 1-3-1 it with the Renekton and Lucian. They don't necessarily have to only play through 2 lanes. It just seemed like they wanted to all in on the Dragon setup. They wanted to keep their vision there. They do have a lot of great purchases, double QSS on their carries and Carzzy and Humanoid, and also Humanoid was able to get his IE. He is just outputting so much damage now.
RedBert goofed the combo there a little bit, and now he's going to pay for it with his life. Culling plus curtain call. And the ultis are enough. There's so many bullets flying, you would think it was Call of Duty. Humanoid jumping forward. There comes your lockdown. There goes your kill. Pantheon coming in on the wings of a dragon, jumping in to join the rest of the squad, and the Mad Lions are on a victory push. There are 3 players left alive on INTZ. The Mad Lions are pushing down the mid lane as a unit. Renekton activating the ulti, charging up the Fury, ready to go here for the fight. It's a 5v3 as Shadow has finally caught up to the rest of the squad. Already one Nexus turret gone. There's your initiation from Kaiser going on to Envy. INTZ, they're still alive for now, but they've lost their Nexus turrets. It's Mad Lions onto the Nexus. It's Envy down. It's Shadow with the kill. And that is it. The first win of the play-in stage of Worlds 2020 goes over to Mad Lions.
It was a hard-fought victory, Cap. That was a tough one. A lot of respect to the crew over there, the CBLOL INTZ, really putting in some work, but Mad Lions were the more consistent team, finding picks through the mid lane constantly. So you gotta feel bad if you're INTZ, but ended up getting that win here if you're a team coming out from the LEC.
Yeah, the LEC 4th seed, this rookie squad. Remember when this team rebranded from Splice to become Mad Lions at the beginning of this year, the roster blew up.
Yeah.
Humanoid's the only guy here that's not a rookie. And he was really important for the wins that they were able to get. The Lucian with the dash over the wall in the back end of the fight to assassinate the Ashe in that one mid lane fight. His powerful laning that built him up the leads, that allowed the team to have the gold advantages that they did when they did. It was just very important for his team, for him to be that presence and sort of be the leader among those rookies. And Mad Lions earned that win.
And one thing on top of that, because that's the things that you do see. You see what is like the impactful team fights that Humanoid was able to get. What people don't tend to like give credit to was the amount of pressure he absorbed from Shini. Shini was always mid. He was constantly playing in a 1v2 environment, and he was coming out trumps. He was able to, incredibly play out the wave really well, always looking to freeze it into him, was trading really well into a matchup that actually can be difficult for Lucian into the Tristana. I think full credit comes towards Humanoid for what was an excellent game from him.
Mad Lions as a team, too. Even though there were some sloppy moments during some of those fights, underestimating the Urgot, putting themselves in a spot where he was able to get maximum damage from all of those passive shots coming off from the different angles, they were still able to find more fights that led to actual rewards. There were INTZ moments where, yes, they got some wins. Yeah. They had some fights that they took. But when you look at the objectives earned, when you look at the aftermath of the fight, it was Mad Lions who got better rewards.
Yeah. I always judge it based off the fundamentals, right? Because you can find those team fight moments based off of, let's say, a misexecution in a team fight or even just a misplay overall. But when it comes down to how you get vision, what you're getting for the wards that you're placing down, Mad Lions were always the team that was incredibly efficient based off that. So a lot of credit to Kaiser and Shadow. I know Shadow had some crazy moments in that game, but like every single time they were able to get vision through Humanoid, they found picks off RedBert a lot, by the way. So it just comes down to the minutia, the small points in which the more experienced LEC team was able to get that. So a lot of credit goes towards Mad Lions and such a good win.
And talking about the Mad Lions, let's go ahead and look back at one play specifically in our Mercedes drive to victory. And that play I'm talking about is the 25-minute fight, or the fight at minute 25 there in the mid lane.
Yeah. Looking at Envy coming in from a flank, I thought that was a pretty good place for him to go for, right? I was like, I guess he wasn't seen. But then Humanoid with the insane assassination from the backline. Honestly, if Humanoid wasn't there for that, I think they lose the fight. I thought that was a really good positioning from the very beginning from Envy to get it. It was cheesy. I mean, like, if Evelynn ended up seeing him in Fog, then you're like, okay, well, that's just bad at the end of the day. But came through hard. I think that was a great moment here from Humanoid.
I'm glad we got to see a game with the teams just going punch for punch like this as our first game of the play-ins in Worlds 2020. I want to continue seeing games like this where both squads aren't afraid to get out there and try to make things happen. You already mentioned at the beginning of this game how the way this works is it's a best of one round robin, single round robin. You play each other team one time. Don't hold back on the secrets. Don't hold back on the tricks. Don't hold back on the top lane Urgot. Because it just might be the thing that catches your opponents by surprise.
And don't pull your punches. When the play is there, double down on the play. Because if you end up reaping some rewards like INT was, suddenly you can sneak away a win from the strongest team in the group and make your chances that much stronger.
And with things already wrapped up, we are going to be tossed into a quick break, but we will soon be back, and we will see you for more action here in the play-in stage.
It's right there to take. Oh, if you want it, the world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. Enter history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. The unknown terror that stood alone, passed from the days of the early suns, through worlds of lost belief, laid waste and buried deep. Saboteur we set out to fall. But there's no fear that lives inside this soul, yeah. Inside this world, there is no way back to forgive us. Oh, I'm done. Deliver. It's simple like the same as something innocent. That lives below, breathes the flames from the dying suns, and lives to wake the dying ones, the dying ones.
Lions were the more consistent team.
Welcome back to Worlds 2020. I'm Dracos, joined now by the victorious support of the Mad Lions, Kaiser. Kaiser, quarantine, now finally your first game on stage here at Worlds 2020. What do you think of the Mad Lions' first game performance?
Well, I mean, for us it was kind of disappointing. I think streams went a lot better than this first stage game, but I think it's understandable because we have to like get used to everything, kind of like used to a bit of a different setup, a bit of a, like different stage, like it's a bit more cold and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you can excuse us. So we'll show a better performance the next time, I think.
It definitely was a bit of a sloppy game. Do you feel like INTZ caught you a little bit off guard? It seems like there were some mechanical mistakes and also some mechanical outplays coming in from the Brazilian squad.
I mean, they caught us off guard for sure. I think, especially in the pick and ban phase, I think we expected like less off-meta picks, I guess, like the Gragas, the Urgot, the Tristana mid lane, like everything was kind of different, I would say. So we didn't really know what to expect coming into the game, but yeah, I mean, that's why maybe we played a bit too passive in the early game. We let them like come into us and we let them make their plays. So that was a pretty big mistake from us, but yeah, it worked out in the end.
And you talked a little bit about kind of adjusting to the stage, adjusting to the new environment for playing, but also how does it feel to just be playing on the world stage, knowing that this is so much bigger than anything you've experienced so far domestically?
I mean, it's a really nice feeling for sure. Like playing against international opponents, like they always have different meta, they have different ideas on how to play the game. So it's really, really fun to like maybe even talk with them and like switch ideas and like how to play the game. I think that's like what makes the League of Legends like the most fun game. Is like so many people have like so many different opinions and like yeah, that's just really fun.
And one of those things that we've seen kind of coming out, one of those newer trends or something that we've seen more internationally is the Pantheon support, something that you played here in Game 1. I know that it's pretty common in the LCK, pretty common in other regions, but not something that we saw as much domestically in the LEC. Can you kind of run me through why that felt like the right choice for you and what you think kind of Pantheon contributes to the meta right now?
I mean, it's just a strong early game support. Like if you want early aggression or if you want prio in lane, like Pantheon is basically the pick for you because like he doesn't really lose many matchups. Like he goes even at best, at worst. So we just wanted a prio lane bot lane to get Evelynn through the early game. And yeah, it has like global pressure as well. So if you want to drive top lane, for example, with our strong side Renekton, that would have been an option as well. It didn't happen this game because they defended pretty well with their like Alistar roams, with their Gragas roams. So yeah, but we couldn't really make that much use of the Pantheon pick, but I think it was still fine in this situation.
Well, regardless, overall, it was a win for the team, so congrats to you on your first win again. That's going to do it for us here at the interview desk. When we return, more Worlds 2020, but for now, we're going to toss it to a quick break.